we're going to start by going to Canvas Playbook and going to where the blog posts are. So Canvas Playbook tiene lo que son blog posts. Los blog posts son noticias, tácticas, estrategias y información para ustedes, right? So it's going, the blog post could be anything from an article about what's going on, from Ernesto, from me, from somebody else on staff. But most of the blog posts have to do with tools and strategies and things that you can do. Okay. We're going to be going to the blog posts. So if you're in here and you come up here, you see it says blog posts. And at the end of the class, I'm going to teach everybody how to get into Canvas Playbook and the things that you can use here. Okay. Vamos a usar Canvas Playbook después. Vamos a ver cómo entrar a Canvas Playbook y qué se puede usar ahí y cómo usarlo. Okay, eso va a ser al final. So here on the blog post, if you look, we have a Section 8 and Fair Housing Advisory, just really quick. Todo lo que está aquí, everything that's going to be here, you can click on Español and it turns into Spanish. So we have everything for everybody. Okay? All right. So let's go back to the blog posts. And we are here. If you look here, this is AI prompts. Estos son los prompts que vamos a estar usando hoy. Esto yo lo hice hace más de 2 semanas. Está aquí sentado. This has been here for about 2 weeks, I think. The date is there somewhere. Oh, this is just added. I keep updating it. And that's where we're going to start. Okay? So, everybody's here because they want prompts. Ustedes están aquí porque quieren prompts que pueden utilizar en tu negocio. ¿Ok? Esto se está grabando, número 1. Después se va a compartir el sitio web. Right? So we're recording this. And that website, I'm going to share it with everybody, the blog. You're going to be able to come in here, and the way this is set up, as you go in, you read the blogs. I'm sorry, you read the prompts. You can set it to Spanish. Te va a explicar cada uno qué hace y por qué lo necesitas. Let me go back to English. Each of these prompts has an explanation of what they are, what they do, and how you can use it. So the first one that we're going to use is the buying power calculator, payment, HOA, and condo maintenance. Okay? Esto es para calcular cómo cambia el poder de compra que tiene el cliente con cada subida de gasto de HOA. Okay? And this is one, and I'm going to be changing things back and forth as we move along here. So, prompt 1, buyer calculator. Si lo lees en inglés o español, right? If you look, it says every $50. You can change this, obviously, to fit your customer. So, lo puedes cambiar para ayudar a usarlo, utilizarlo con el cliente que tienes. So, I'm going to copy the prompt. Si miras aquí, you just copy the prompt. And I'm going to go to ChatGPT for this one. And I'm going to put the prompt there. Okay? So, una de las cosas que yo le digo a las personas, when you're talking to your lender, let's say that you're talking to your CMG lender, instead of asking them, en vez de preguntar a cuánto califican, right? Because you get 400,000, 350, you should also ask them what they qualify for monthly. ¿Qué es el pago que ellos pueden hacer? So that's usually what they do, and then they do it backward to tell you how much they can buy. Okay? So en este caso, for this case, I'm going to use somebody that qualifies to $3,100 a month. Okay? We're going to ask it for comparisons, FHA and conventional, but this is not about FHA versus conventional. This is about buying power. Esto es sobre el poder de compra. So with this estimate, and by the way, before I move forward with this, antes de seguir con esta, lo que yo quiero hacer aquí hoy es enseñarte todos los prompts que hay aquí. I'm going to show you all these prompts. But what I want that to do is to make you think a pensar cómo ustedes pueden usar sistemas diferentes. So a lo mejor ven un prompt. You might see a prompt that I use here today, and you might say, you know what? I think I can use that prompt in a different way, in a different with a different problem or as a solution to something else. Okay, so we're going to move forward. So while this is thinking, let me explain this. You have a buyer, and he says, "Hey, I'm qualified for $350,000, $400,000," and you start looking for properties for him, right? Empieza a buscarle propiedades de 350, 400,000. And then they go on Zillow or they or any other website, and they start sending you properties that they want you to show them with the right price. But the association fee is $600, $800, $500. Ellos no entienden, right? So entonces tú les estás mandando propiedades para que ellos vean, y ellos empiezan a mandarte a ti propiedades que quieren ver, pero el association fee es mucho más alto. So esto es una forma de explicarle a un cliente qué poder de compra tiene, how much buying power he has if he goes to a higher association fee. Now we're going to take a second. So we're going to have a bunch of different prompts that we're going to go through. And some of them are going to have to do with images. Some of them are going to be about, most of them are math problems. We also have a marketing one. I was telling the people that are here in the office today, lo que están aquí en la oficina, le estaba contando. Okay, here we go. So, data available as of August 4th, that's today for those of you who are not following. FHA 30-year fix is at 6.425. 30-year fix for conventional is at 6.7. Okay. Down payment that's going to be used is 3.5% for FHA, obviously, and conventional is going to be 5%. We're going to calculate property taxes based on the purchase price at 1.8%. Homeowners insurance is 1.25, but it should be left out because with the association fee, you're paying for, oh, look, they left it in. Okay, so see, that's one of the things you have to be careful with the AI. So we're going to tell it to keep the insurance off the calculation. So let's look at the numbers anyway, okay? So if you look here, the monthly HOA, if it's zero, si no hay asociación, con un pago que puedes pagar 3,100, if you can afford 3,100 a month, your purchasing power is about $386,200, okay? And this is, let me go back a second. That's conventional, and this was the FHA. The total here, 382 versus 386. See, I don't like these numbers. For the sake of this, I'm going to keep moving forward anyway. But if the interest rate for FHA is lower, the amount you can buy should be higher, and it's not coming out that way. So it lost a calculation in there somewhere. Let's see if when it redoes it, it does it better. And, I know that most people out there are looking for the perfect presentation so that you can feel confident. I would rather see something go wrong so that I can share it with you and explain it. Lo que estás diciendo es que yo prefiero, yo sé que todo el mundo quiere ver las cosas que salgan perfecto, ¿no? Pero es mejor a veces que salga un fallo para que puedan ver el fallo y saber que se puede ajustar, ¿no? Cómo mirar las cosas. Let's go back down here and see if it changed. It's still working. I'm going to tell it to give me a side. Give me a side by side chart of the HOA and the two payments. So le estoy pidiendo que me los dé side by side. I don't want to go down the whole thing. I want to see it the other way. And this was going to be part of what I was going to do anyway. because we're gonna do something extra with this. The first person to send me their image through WhatsApp, I will use to do the next part of this. So for this payment range, every $50, what it gave me an example overall. So for every, it's telling us here, see ChatGPT is acting a little off today. It's telling me that most overall, because they're very similar in price, están bien similar. Por cada $0 a $250 de HOA, están perdiendo 31,000. They're losing $31,000 of purchase power. So if they could have bought at the top at 384, at 250 here, they're only being able to buy 353. Okay, so FHA is here, and here we have conventional. Did anybody send me an image? No? I'm gonna have to use my own. You guys aren't gonna like that. So, nadie me va a mandar una foto. Okay. So, use the attached image and give me a 4. By the way, 4x5, 4x5 format es el tamaño más grande que puedes usar para un post en Instagram. So aquí le estoy pidiendo, I'm gonna upload a logo. Okay. For portrait. Okay, now we're gonna get that. La razón de que yo estoy diciendo que los números no están bien es que es la forma en que normalmente me lo he dado comparado a ahora. So usually when you do this often enough, you see the way you usually get a response. And right now it's not showing me the way the responses I usually get are. And last night Claude was acting like it had been possessed. If you guys have any questions, shoot them up inside the chat. Si ustedes tienen preguntas, please ask. Hola. Good morning. Si tienen preguntas de esto, por qué usarlo así, qué estamos buscando con esto, déjame saber. Preguntas. ¿Ustedes han tratado de usar Claude para hacer imágenes? Sí. No lo hace. No, me gusta más, lo hace ChatGPT. Yo hice uno, el otro día, porque ya yo sé que no lo hace. So Claude does not do images very well. Here's the image that I got. Now, I know everybody here is using those images that are like posters that are overwhelmed with numbers and figures and boxes and lists. ¿Saben de lo que estoy hablando? Okay. Que ustedes están haciendo unos anuncios que salen como una página y con toda esa información. Nadie va a leer eso. It's too small and it has too much information. Deben tratar de ser lo más simple para que la gente lo use. Eso tiende a ser ChatGPT, uno le dice que hace demasiada. Don't create the ChatGPT, typical ChatGPT. Carlos, yeah.
You asked a question. You were discussing a question. Yeah.
So, deben pedir lo que quieren específico y que hable de eso específico. No deje que te dé a ti lo que él quiere. Ustedes tienen que manejar lo que está dando. So, si están hablando, por ejemplo, en este chart es bien sencillo. ¿Ve? Lo que mira, lo dejó. Ve, esto está mal. He gave us $6,200. Let me see that. Wow. Debiéramos entonces cambiar la conversación a por qué no puedes pensar que ChatGPT te está ayudando, ¿no? Ya. So, parece que esto estaba tratando de explicar el cambio de los precios del pago y lo que te cuesta en el precio total y no lo hizo bien. But you guys get the gist of it. Ustedes entienden el por qué estamos haciendo esto, right? Ok, vamos a ir al próximo prompt. El próximo prompt que tengo aquí es para New Development Blog Builder. Ok, esto lo hemos estado hablando por un ratico. Esta semana, you guys this week are programmed with Elena to go to Domus, I believe. Okay, so I'm going to start a new chat. This time I'm going to go to Claude. Let's see if Claude behaves better. I copied the prompt, okay, from the second one here. Copy the prompt, and I'm going to Claude. And the post, this basically says, and now this is going to create a blog post for you, and I need to explain two things for you. In this case, let me start by going to the second one. If you look here, si miren aquí, esto dice New Developer Dynamic Blog Builder, right? If you scroll down a little bit more, there's another one that says it's for Bold Trail. Ustedes tienen, si lo vas a hacer en Bold Trail, if you're doing it in Bold Trail, which is what I'm going to do here, you need to do it the style of Bold Trail. If you do this without telling it it's for Bold Trail, si lo hacen y no le dicen que es para Bold Trail, cuando lo ponen Bold Trail no queda bien. Bold Trail te quita algo que se llama CSS Styling, que tú no necesitas saber eso, pero no te lo va a dejar que salga correcto. So te voy a hacer un ejemplo de cómo sale si tienes un blog page y cómo sale si lo haces para Bold Trail. Okay? So en este caso, fuimos de Bold Trail, we came to the Bold Trail one, right? Because Bold Trail strips what's called CSS from the blog post. Let's go to Claude. Let's go ahead and change this to the Bold Trail one. And we need it. We're copying Bold Trail, and one of the things that we need to do, si se abre así, if it comes, it doesn't let you see the actual text. You need to open it up. You need to put the location of where you're going, right? So Domus is on Brickle, ¿verdad? Is Domus on Brickle?
Vamos a abrir con la gente. Joaquín, una pregunta.
Dime.
Digan algo. Yo estoy acá en Playbook, Canvas.
Es que llegaste tarde, yo no puedo ir para atrás.
Pero entonces tú te vas para iCloud y estás manejando las dos páginas, ¿cierto?
No,
¿No?
uno son los blog posts y el otro es tu chat, tu AI. Y estoy teniendo, déjame ver algo. No me está dejando, hold on a second. En este caso, y lo voy a tener que hacer un poquito distinto aquí con ustedes, en el prompt te está pidiendo el teléfono y el sitio donde vas a poner, donde vas a hacer el development, ¿verdad? So, entonces aquí, como no te está dejando ajustarlo aquí, tienes que poner telephone number y el mío, por ejemplo, es 1305, porque esto va a ser para el WhatsApp. No le pongan las rayitas. And the location is Domus Brickle. Si cuando tú haces el paste, te lo deja entero, entonces puedes cambiarlo en el mismo post, right? So you'll be able to change those things right on the paste, but not if it wraps it up like that. And then hit go. And we're going to be here for a few minutes. So, a tu pregunta, el blog post tiene los prompts para que tú puedas copiarlo y usarlo en tu AI. No es para usarlo en el AI que está dentro del Playbook. El Playbook no es una entrada de AI, es un AI chat que está preparado para los agentes de Canvas. So, when you go to the blog post, you're able to copy the prompts, but you can't use them inside of the Playbook chat. Right. That's not made for generating anything. In fact, if you go in there and you ask for a recipe for it's going to say that's not real estate. The system that's set up there, we basically taught it about Transaction Desk. Le explicamos Transaction Desk. Le explicamos la póliza de Canvas, las leyes de la Florida, del estado de real estate, el protocol de la oficina de nosotros. Por ejemplo, tú sabes, you guys know that for rentals, we have to use the compensation, right? But that's not the law or the rules of the state. That's a Canvas rule. So if you ask the question in our chat, it'll answer you with Canvas policy. But if you want ChatGPT or something else, it'll answer you with the general rules. Esto está escrito para nosotros. So did it do it? Not yet. So para darte una explicación mientras que esperamos, in Bold Trail, this is an explanation of the Bold Trail difference. For a while, I was creating these beautiful posts and putting them in Bold Trail, and when you looked, it would look beautiful. And then you would save it and send it. Okay? Yo hacía algo bien lindo para los posts, lo miraba, lo guardaba y lucía bien lindo. Pero cuando salía por correo, when it got mailed out, it turned into something terrible. You would see the picture, the whole size of the page, and the text really narrow in the middle, or the charts would be in the wrong place. Pero tú no lo veías. You wouldn't see it until after it was sent. So after I made that mistake a dozen times, I realized that we needed to do it differently. También, por ejemplo, so if you do this, and this is what I wanted to show you, if we come back, this is what it looks like if you do it on a page that is a blog post page. ¿Lo están viendo? Si tú tienes un post, un page que es para blogging, esto es lo que va a lucir tu anuncio. This is what it'll look like. And if you come here, you see that it says to request. Ustedes ven aquí abajo lo que dice. It says that you're going to get sent to WhatsApp, and it's going to automatically load a message that says, please send me the current Domus Brickell Center floor plan package and help me compare the best lines. Correcto. Bueno, aquí, eso es para request floor plans. Entonces, si sigues, está hablando de los down payments, te está hablando de lo que es los amenities, las cosas que están cerca. Esto te lo hace todo.
O sea, ¿eso todo te lo hizo el ChatGPT o
Esto lo hizo Claude. Sí. What can change before delivery? Contact Joaquin. Again, it sends me a WhatsApp. Now, the important thing about this, mira, vamos a hablar de eso ahora. Let me go really quick to see how Claude's doing. It finished. Okay? So if you come here, you're going to go like this, right? We're going to copy here. You're going to click para que veas esto. Le vas a dar un clic para que te dé el código este. You're going to copy it. And by the way, I have videos of all these things on my YouTube. If you guys want it, ask for it in the chat. Not this chat here, the chat for the offices. So if we go to Bold Trail and we come down here to where it says Web IDX, okay, aquí estamos en Bold Trail donde dice Web. Y vamos donde dice Blog y abres Add Post y ves aquí donde están los, ¿cómo dicen ustedes a eso? If you come here to where you have the code box y le pones lo que copiamos, le damos su nombre, you now have the post also. But you see it left out the pictures because it's afraid that Bold Trail is going to leave them off. So tú le puedes poner fotos, eso lo podemos hablar en otra clase, porque esto es de AI, no de posting, okay? But if you post this, you now have something, and you're going to put a picture there, le vas a poner una foto, you have something que puedes compartir con tu cliente. You have something that you can share with your customers. And I'll show you, let me see this one, what it looks like. This is an older one that I did. So this is from Bold Trail also. You see the difference? And then, let me see, property search and links. This is something else that I did. We're going to talk about this today also. So we come back here, and I'm just to see if we can do something. I'm going to say add images from Domus. Let me see if it'll do it for us. So while we're waiting for that, yo quiero explicarle algo, right? And this is going to be a little lengthy in Spanish, and then I'll come back to English. The way Google works now, la forma que Google trabaja ahora, ustedes se acuerdan que antes, si tú le pedías algo, venía una lista de diferentes sitios web y tú ibas uno por uno buscando cuál era que te gustaba más, right? Si era una receta, si era una pregunta de tu perro, tu mascota, tú buscabas los contestas que querías. Ahora Google tiene AI. So, el AI sale y busca la pregunta, busca la contesta y te devuelve la contesta y después están la lista de los sites. ¿Correcto? Lo han visto así. So, entonces yo, por casualidad, yo estaba haciendo todos los blog posts míos con la pregunta que ustedes hacían y después yo ponía la información que era la contesta primero y después la explicación. Pues eso es lo que está buscando el AI. So, yo tengo un post que yo hice y después si quieren lo puedo enseñar. Pero yo hice un post, alguien preguntó, que es una pregunta que sale todas las semanas. ¿Puedo vender un mobile home? Todo el mundo quiere saber, ¿puedo vender un mobile home? So I wrote, yo escribí, can I sell a mobile home? Can a real estate agent sell a mobile home? Esa página debe estar por arriba de eso ahora, pero tenía casi 400 visitors. Sin yo publicarlo, lo puse en el grupo de nosotros, pero Google lo encontró. Y ahora, si tú ahora mismo en tu teléfono, en tu computer, tu teléfono, escribes, can a real estate agent sell a mobile home? Sale la respuesta de mi página y después vas a ver el logo mío abajo. So, well, this is wonderful for all of us. So, en vez de poner Domus Brickle, y yo no sé si ustedes se fijaron, now I'm going to repeat this in English for everybody. No, you don't need to know that right now. Después lo miramos, okay? But if you look here, tú ves que dice how many residences, what resident types are available, when is Domus Brickle Center expected to deliver. The reason it does that, la razón que hizo eso, es porque cada pregunta que un cliente puede hacer aparece en tu página. Right? So, si tú contestas la pregunta de ellos, AI va recomendarte a ti sin pagar.
Obviamente, la revista de la cuenta.
No, it lo va a buscar. Okay, now I'm going to say it in English. So in the past, Google used to ask Google a question, and it would do a search and bring back all the websites and that was called SEO. Eso era SEO. It would find all the websites that have the question you're asking, the answer. But now AI is in there. So AI goes ahead, looks at all the websites, looks for the question, looks for the answer. It gives you the answer, and then it gives you a list of websites where the answer is. So if you look for can real estate agents sell mobile homes, mine shows up first. I've never spent money on that page. So now that's my school site. If I use my real estate site and do the same question, I might get people that's usually a question asked by realtors. But if it wasn't, if that's a question that the public is asking, right? Then they're going to find me first without spending any money. So lo que yo estoy sugiriendo para ustedes es que ustedes, por ejemplo, right now, Domus, all the questions that people ask are there. So you have to. Ustedes pueden ser de los pioneros, se dice. You guys could be the pioneers in this. Other agents are not doing this. So if you guys do Domus, what is Domus? Where is Domus? Y abajo están las otras preguntas, right? All the questions are showing up. Y tú, si lo haces en un blog post, no en Bold Trail, tú puedes incluir otras cosas que te hacen más visible. You can do other things that make you more visible if you do it on a blog post site, because then you can include something called schema, which is like telling AI, come in, we're here, we're ready for you. Okay? Si tú estás usando lo que se llama JSON scripts, y tú no tienes que entender nada de esto, by the way. Yo te doy el blog post que está ahí ya, y él lo hace por ti. Pero si tú lo haces en una página de blog que no sea Bold Trail, le va a estar, imagínate que tu post tiene algo afuera esperando que pasan Google para decir, oye, venga, aquí tengo lo que tú necesitas, right? It's inviting AI to read. It's telling it, here I, okay? I want all of you to do this, by the way. I've been saying it for a long time.
A todos nos aparece contact Joaquin en WhatsApp.
No,
A mí me aparece, yo estoy en Canvas Playbook que me aparece contact Joaquin en WhatsApp.
porque yo lo posteé
A mí a todos nos aparece contact Joaquin.
en el blog post que puse en WhatsApp.
And more. Oh,
Lo puse para que lo vieran como un ejemplo.
customers deposit $10 and get $100.
Pero tú no vas a hacer nada con eso.
At Outsun, we help you on the
Ahí va.
Take care of your actions. Support your everyday life. Our developments offer benefits and help you manage your day-to-day.
Somebody's chatting. Can you please turn off your microphone? ¿Entendiste?
Sí.
Yo puse el mío ahí como un ejemplo para que lo vieran y para que pudieran funcionarlo, porque si le dan, ahora van a ver que se abre WhatsApp y todo eso. El tuyo va a decir tu nombre, porque acuérdate que lo primero que hice fue poner mi nombre, perdón, mi teléfono y puse el sitio que quería que hiciera. So ese mismo prompt, tú lo vas a usar, siempre que lo usas, tienes que ponerle el teléfono tuyo, puedes poner tu nombre y eso también. Yo lo dejé sencillo para que te lo ponga. Después que tú lo haces y lo pegas y lo miras, every time you finish and you post it and you look at it, si no te gustaron los colores, if you don't like the colors, if you don't like the layout, si hay algo que no te gusta, something you don't like, you can ask the AI to change it for you. Y no tiene que ser técnico. You don't have to be technical. You can just tell it how you feel. Viste, le puedes decir cómo tú te sientes. Got it? ¿Está conmigo? So, este que hice yo aquí está en Canvas Playbook. Esto no sale al público. Esto está creo que está bloqueado del público. ¿Ok? Entonces, let's go back here. No me diga que entendiste si no entendiste. I'm copying again. Voy a volver a Bold Trail a ver si me lo cambia. So, mira, voy a hacer el cambio para que vean otra vez. Entran aquí, where it says source code. ¿Ustedes entienden eso? Yo tampoco. You don't need to understand this. You just need copy and paste. ¿Saben hacer copy and paste? Ve, mira, ahora tiene fotos. Okay? So we're going to publish now. Y vamos a verlo. Tú ves que dice Spanish and English. So, tú viste que en el mío, si yo le doy el botón, cambia todo. Eso no lo permite Bold Trail. So, en Bold Trail, si tú le das a español, baja al fondo del post y busca la parte en español. ¿Entendieron? Look at that. That's pretty. ¿No está pretty?
Cuando tú lo publicas, aparece en tu red social, cuando sale ya.
Yes. So ahora yo creo que cerré WhatsApp. Yo cerré WhatsApp. Pero si tú pones esto en WhatsApp, queda bien bonito. Queda la foto y una explicación. So if you post it in WhatsApp, not Instagram, you put it in WhatsApp. And by the way, these links, después que tú haces estos links, ustedes tienen Linktree. Hoy te voy a enseñar cómo eliminar Linktree y llevar la gente a tu sitio web. ¿Ok? Bueno, te voy a enseñar lo que luce y cómo hacerlo, pero ustedes van a tener que hacer tarea. I'm gonna show you how to eliminate Linktree and use a blog post from here so that you have people coming to your website to look at your links. And once they're there, si están en tu sitio web, they can see how to search for homes and stuff like that. You good? ¿Entendieron eso también? Estás diciendo que no.
No, es que como llegué tarde, no entiendes.
Lo vas a poder ver en video.
Sí, puedo ver el video.
Esto se está grabando. Los regaños y todo.
Sí.
Y regañándome porque puse el nombre mío ahí. Ok. Yo creo que esta foto, aquí hay una foto que no apareció. Ok. Si ese es el caso, I think there's a photo that didn't show up here. Si ese es el caso, you go back into AI. Yo quiero que usted no le tenga, que no se estén intimidados por el AI. I don't want you to be intimidated. Entra y dile, hay un espacio grande, creo que es una foto que no entró, elimínalo. O reemplázalo con otra. Tú le puedes decir la foto, tú le puedes decir que agarre esta foto y que la ponga primero. ¿Ok? Everybody good? Ok, lo vamos de Domes. ¿Alguien quiere comprar? So we're going back to the blog post y vamos a entrar otra vez en los prompts. So hicimos el primero de Buying Power en New Development, que usamos el de Bold Trail para Bold Trail. Y ahora otra más. Vamos a ir a esta que es Mortgage Qualification Interview. Ahora,
Que no sale eso. Eso está en un blog post.
tú no vas a ir ahí ahora. Tú no estás haciendo nada más que escuchando ahora. This is not a workshop. Okay. So, thank you. Después yo lo voy a compartir. I promise. Y voy a compartir los videos que acompañan todo esto. Later, I'm going to put out the post and the links to videos on how to do all this stuff. Right? So, ustedes no saben esto, pero cuando yo no estoy aquí, yo pienso, ¿cómo nos puedo ayudar a esta gente? Right? You guys don't believe me, but it's true. I think, how can I help you? So there are a lot of people in our company, hay mucha gente que nunca han comprado casa, right? Y además de eso, hay clientes que nunca han comprado antes y tú lo estás mandando a ir a hablar con un agente, con un lender. You have a buyer, they're going to go meet a lender, or you yourself have never bought a house, and I don't want confessions. So you don't know how the process goes. So you're talking to people from a third, from a third person's experience. Este prompt es para que un cliente tuyo, tú se lo puedas compartir o tú mismo lo usas, right? So I'm going to copy this prompt and I'm going to go to ChatGPT and I'm going to paste it and go. So, ¿qué es lo que hace este chat? Te deja entender cómo es la conversación que va a tener el cliente con el lender. This lets them experience the lender conversation. Le va a pedir, le va a hacer preguntas, le va a pedir cosas. Entonces, la forma que yo lo escribí, ¿ve? Le hace la primera pregunta y espera la contesta. It asks the first question, waits for the response. And it tells you why they're asking that question, right? Now, si ustedes, if your customer asks a question like, yeah, but what about this? It'll answer it and wait for the other response or go to the next question. ¿Entendieron? So, esto es, en mi opinión, un servicio que tú le puedes dar a tu primer comprador. Es algo que tú le puedes ofrecer a gente. Tú le puedes preguntar a la gente, ¿quieren saber cómo es el camino a comprar? Déjame compartir esto contigo. Y eso es una de las cosas que ustedes deben hacer. One of the things that you guys should be doing is, this is called ClickFunnels, right? You're supposed to have things for people to come and do. So if you're telling people, if you're a first home buyer, DM me, send me a WhatsApp. Ellos no te van a contestar. Tú tienes que ofrecerle algo. So si tú le dices, if you're a first time home buyer and you want to be able to go over the script or how it works in the privacy of your home. Porque uno de los miedos que tiene la gente, one of the things people are afraid of, is that if they go on your AI, they're being recorded, right? Their responses are recorded. Se está grabando la conversación. En este caso, tú le puedes decir, no, hazlo en el AI tuyo para que sepa cómo es. And I did it simple, but you can also tell it that at the end, now it's time to call Marlon and put the phone number or the links. ¿Sí? Ok. También puedes hacer ustedes mismos un blog post como esto, pero es para los compradores, primeros compradores, y ellos pueden buscar esto ellos mismos. You can turn this whole thing into a blog post for your buyers, where they would have all these different prompts for them to work with. And you're basically training them to be a better buyer, a better customer for you. Okay? So let me go back really quick. Vieron aquí la primera pregunta, right? What is the purpose of the purchase? That is always the first question. Why? Because they need to know if this is a primary home, you get better programs than an investor. Correct? So you're going to say, let's say primary. Have you ever already found the property? Right? And it goes on and on. You might want to write it. So if it says, do you know a realtor I can use, it'll bring you back. So you can put in the prompt, puedes poner en el prompt. Si te preguntan cualquier cosa, dile que necesita un realtor, dile, debes llamar Yara. Esa pregunta, llama Yara y aquí está el teléfono. You can put that in the prompt. Okay? Ok, seguimos para el próximo prompt. Investment ROI check and buyer cap rate sweet spot. Vamos a copiar y te explico. For this one, I think I'm also going to go to ChatGPT again, and I'm going to start a new chat. Y vamos para el MLS. ¿Ustedes conocen el MLS? MLS, I could still show you some stuff. Okay, I'm going to go into the MLS, and I'm going to show you these are the things that changed this business for everybody. So let's go to multifamily. Let's go to results, whatever shows up first. I see so many mistakes in here. Okay, so I'm going to take a screenshot, and you don't have to. You can take the whole page and put it there. And I'm going to take this information. And that's it. Let's start with that. Let's see what happens, okay? So I'm going to go to ChatGPT, and I'm going to upload those two images. Ven que los dos imágenes están aquí, ¿verdad? And I think this one's going to ask you for the information. So if it does, let me see. Go. So antes, how many of you understand cap rates, return on investment, and all that wonderful stuff, right? No? Okay, good. And out there, I hope you guys are following. So you have an investor, and he says, that te dice, tiene un investor y te dice, yo quiero un mínimo de 6% de cap rate en la propiedad que quiero comprar, right? Have you guys had that yet? And you go, okay, we can do that, and you don't know what he's talking about, ¿no? A veces eso pasa. La otra cosa que pasa es que el investor, cuando dice que es un investor, ustedes se asustan porque piensan que sabe más que tú, right? You start thinking, this guy knows more than I do. I'll get back to that for you guys also. Well, yeah, I'll tell you right now. One of the things that I'll do with an investor, if somebody tells me they're investors, I'll say, because remember, si ellos hablan más, if they're talking more, you're going to learn more, and you're going to learn more on how you can close them and what they want. So I asked, si alguien me dice, yo soy un inversionista, yo le pregunto, si tú pudieras entrar en tu portfolio de las propiedades que tiene, if you could look at your portfolio of all the properties you have, and by the way, that means it's ready. What property would you duplicate? Which property do you wish you had two of? Right? Y te van a decir cuál es la propiedad favorito de ellos, por qué, si es el equity que le está ganando, si es el cash flow, si es el rental rate, they're going to tell you. Most of the time, they're going to tell you that's their first investment purchase. They're just showing off. I'm an investor. No, you're not. You have some money, you're going to buy something. Y ahí ustedes se ponen más tranquilos. You guys get more tranquil because now you know that they're not really investors and you just don't help them. But anyway, in the past, if you had somebody talking like that, si tenías un cliente que te estaba hablando de cap rates, tú tenías que empezar a sacar la calculadora, buscar los fórmulas, y ahora tienes ChatGPT en tu bolsillo. Now you have ChatGPT on your phone, right? So with this property, it verified this information from the MLS screenshots. It's asking me for this information, right? I'm not going to give it to it. See, it doesn't have all the answers that it needs. So what cap rate does the buyer want this property to produce? Is it 6, 7, or 8? And the target value 10%. Let's say use the available data and give me the current cap rate at that purchase price, right? Si lo compro a ese precio, ¿qué va a ser el cap rate? And check the current rent rates in the area and see if we have room to increase, and give me that figure as well. ¿Entienden lo que estoy pidiendo, verdad? Yo te lo explico ahora. So, yo le estoy diciendo, basado en el precio que están pidiendo ahora, based on the price they're offering now, and the rentals that they're getting now, and the numbers that they can generate, which I didn't ask, but it should do it anyway. What is the cap rate today at that price? Then I told it to check. Le dije, chequea a ver si los alquileres en esa área se pueden subir más estos alquileres. And then finally, y esto es lo más importante, if you have a customer that says, I want a 7% cap rate, yo quiero 7%, tú puedes coger una propiedad como esta y decirle qué precio tiene que pagar mi cliente para que esto sea 7% hoy. Y te va a decir lo que puede ofrecer. Entonces tú puedes ir a tu cliente y decirle, ¿te gusta esta? Para que sea 7% vas a tener que ofrecer tanto. Y a lo mejor dice, bueno, voy a ofrecer no tan poquito, o sea, pero ahora sé, now I know how much I need to wait before rents and stuff and get me to that 7%. So, este prompt es más sofisticado, está pidiendo más información, it's asking for a lot of information, but you can tell it to guess based on regular costs in the area. Tú puedes decir, hazme un estimado basado en lo que son los gastos normales en esa área. Una de las cosas que va a pasar aquí, one of the things that's going to happen here, es que leyendo esto, vas a ser mejor realtor porque estás aprendiendo qué son los datos que tú necesitas. You're going to learn, it's going to be telling you, I need this, I need this, I need this. You're going to become a better agent because now you understand how they're calculated. Right? Los tengo abandonado aquí en la pantalla. So, this will make you better. Pregunta mientras que esperemos. Is this stuff something you're going to use? Esto es algo que van a usar.
I will use it.
Yes. Yara is the one I want to hear the answer from. Really. ¿Lo van a usar?
Yes. Bueno,
Okay.
sí.
Yara is the hardest working real estate agent in Florida. She doesn't have time for technology, so she says she's going to use it. ¿Verdad o mentira?
Sí.
Le hacemos el cuento de las 7 de la mañana en Hialeah.
Sí.
Okay, so current rents, annual gross rent, estimated managed cap, supported increase. Okay, so realistic immediate upside is therefore approximately they might be able to get $50 to $100 more per month, $600 to $1,200 annually, at 250. Okay, so how much are they asking for this property? ¿Cuánto era? ¿Te acuerdas? Let's go look. Oh, it's 250 is what they're asking for. Okay, so let's go back. At the current rents, the estimated managed cap is 6%. If they do the increase, they can get to 6.2, 6.41. If see it says owner managed, si están pagando comisión o un sueldo para que alguien maneje la propiedad, le va a quitar income. So if they have a manager or an agent getting paid to manage, they lose income. So it says owner managed, it might be as high as 6.9%. Yo sé de mi experiencia personal, from my personal experience, there are a lot of things that we avoid because we don't know. Yo lo hablé el otro día. Yo, cuando empecé en este negocio, le tenía miedo a los condos. I was afraid of condos. I didn't feel like I knew them well enough. And then I realized if I don't deal with condos, I'm never going to learn condos. That was a long time ago. The tallest building was only 2 stories. Got it? ¿Le gustan estas? ¿Le tienen miedo? ¿Lo van a usar? I'm hoping that all of you are going to use at least some of these. And if you're not using these, then you're at least using the ideas to create your own stuff. Let's go back to the prompts. Okay, algo que todo el mundo le va a gustar. Nadie me va a mandar una foto. Somebody take a selfie and send it to me right now. Nadie. ¿Lo van a hacer o no? Do I have to take my own?
We like yours.
Is somebody doing it or do I lo están haciendo? Dale, send it. No, no, doesn't matter. That's even better. That is even better. ¿Por dónde me lo están mandando? WhatsApp. We have a volunteer. Oh, wait till you see this. This has been my favorite portrait generator for WhatsApp. I mean, for AI. Ahí me llegó. No, tú te vas a quedar sorprendido. No, it's going to come out really nice. So this, if you guys noticed, yay, thank you. Copy image. You came out, we don't even need to change it. We're going to come here, add photo. Sorry, I'm just going to paste it. Okay? And you want to hit create image. Come on. Technology. No me está dejando ver la parte de abajo de la pantalla. There it is. So it's create image. Let's put it in the front. And hit go. Si te fijas, when you come here for this prompt, there's male and female. Okay? Make sure you don't use the wrong one. I've had women with facial hair on this one. Tenían bigote y it looked like 5 o'clock shadow. So este es el favorito que yo he descubierto. This is my favorite one from all the ones that I've used. For AI for photos, sometimes you write less and it does even better. Hay veces que tú escribes poquito y haces. Mira, viste, ahora todo el mundo va a mandar la foto. But it's too late. So, do you guys like that one?
If you read the whole top,
Now, let's. Mira. Look at that. Very natural. And for $5, I'll share it with you. Okay, so. You know I'm kidding, obviously, right? Yo te lo comparto después. So if you come here, this is the best. And again, female, male. FERPTA foreign buyer seller explanation. But you know what? I got excited about one. How are we on time? It's 11:07. I want to go to this one. I'm going to skip over here. Closing timeline and transaction coordinator checklist. Okay? I'm going to hit the copy prompt. ¿Quién quiere ser mi volunteer? Yara, ¿quiere ser mi volunteer? Sí, sí. Tienes que tener imaginación que vendiste algo ayer. Y para ti eso es todos los días. Okay? So I'm going to start. Esto es ustedes saben, you guys know that after you write a contract, you should send an email to everybody, the listing agent, your buyer, your seller, whoever it is, the title company agent, with all the dates relevant to the contract, all right? So, entonces el correo va a tener todas las fechas importantes del contrato, right? Deben hacerlo. Pero ahora te voy a enseñar algo que esto hizo, right? So, y para que me dejes sorprendido a mí, so let's hit go. Y ahora te va a hacer preguntas. ¿Cuál es el día de efectivo del contrato ya ahora hoy?
Cuando todo lo sí.
No es una pregunta de la escuela. Tú tienes un contrato que acabas de recibir hoy. ¿Qué fecha es el efectivo hoy, verdad? Hoy estamos a 4. Is it the 5th already? Holy cow.
Failed.
So I put the date, right? Te va a hacer las preguntas uno por uno. It's going to ask you one by one each question. What is the effective date? The effective date, which Yara was answering like a good realtor, she was answering that the effective date is the last person that signed the contract to make it effective. ¿Cuándo va a cerrar?
El 28.
De septiembre. September 28, 2026. ¿Qué tipo de financiamiento? Mentira, es FHA para esta. Yo quiero complicarlo. ¿Qué tiempo es el inspection period? 7 days. Y también ustedes saben que pueden subir el contrato y decir, házmelo. Pero yo creo que esto es mejor por lo que voy a hacer. ¿Es un condo, tiene HOA o es non-association single family?
Con land y tiene asociación.
Try that for example.
Yo
It's a community.
voy a poner, tiene que ser un mobile home.
Bueno,
Vamos a poner una casa. Sorry, a ese sí no quiero complicarlo mucho. Pero it wouldn't matter really. Ahora, if we would have put HOA, te va a preguntar qué tiempo tienen para calificar y eso. Right? What county is it in? Broward. ¿Y por qué estás vendiendo un mobile home? Ve, yo sabía. ¿Es un resale o new construction? Resale. ¿El comprador o vendedor es Foreign National? I know sounds very simple, but we're going to make it really work for you. I have all 8 answers. I'm mapping the contract dates now and separating fixed deadlines from customary lender, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Vamos a dejar. Avísame cuando termina porque voy a estar mirando para acá. Right? So, esto es algo que deben hacer. Sorry. Odio cuando no ponen mute el teléfono. It was me. Ustedes deben hacer esto con todos los contratos, ¿verdad? Pero no lo hacemos. Entonces, esto te va a dar una razón buena por hacerlo. Besides, ustedes están buscando el próximo negocio cuando hacen negocio, right? When you're doing a deal, you're looking for the next deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you do a letter like this, they go, wow, she's professional, right? But I'm going to show you how you can get even more.
Did I ask you about the first deposit or the?
It didn't. But we could ask it to do that. And we could tell it right now. Like we could say, you didn't ask about the deposit timeline. That's a good point. See, I'm glad you're here. That I wonder why I didn't ask that. because I didn't tell it what it needed to ask. That's very important. Lo escucharon, ¿verdad? Que no, for those of you on the Zoom, Carlos Rosa, super agent here in Weston, brought up the point that it didn't ask about deposits and deposit timelines, which is very important. I didn't tell it what to ask, but it skipped that one. Estrellita for you.
If you uploaded the contract directly, it could have pulled all the information.
It will. It will. And that's one of the other prompts that's been created for this. Y sabe que we have different levels aquí. Aquí hay diferentes niveles de experiencia. So para alguien nuevo, somebody newer, it would be better for you to go through this and look at the questions. But if you've already been around and you know what they are, you should just put the contract and do it that way. Okay, you see this? It even tells you all the things that you should be looking at. So day 0 is Wednesday, August 5th. It tells you, look, confirm title company is closing, confirm where the earnest money deposit must be delivered. Te está dando una lista de cosas que tienes que hacer, right? Look, a list of all the things you need to do on a daily basis. And it has all the dates of when things are due. Now, I did this yesterday. I was playing around with this because I wanted to make sure it would work today. This is a new one. It goes and goes and goes. Hola.
Salud. No ha pagado el aire.
No,
Me dijeron que estás pidiendo bien.
Sí, hace falta. Yo no lo pedí, pero I'm glad you did.
Está caliente. Es que está apagado.
It's still going. There you go. It's even telling us what's not applicable, which is really a waste of time. Okay, vete a las fechas aquí importante. Okay, we're going to start. That's what I'm really waiting for. This is what we wanted. I'm going to come in here and say, give me Google Calendar links for each event. Ustedes saben que hay links que tú le das y vas para tu Google Calendar y te deja guardar la información, ¿verdad? O lo van a aprender ahora. So you can turn this into an email with the links so that your customer no solo ve la fecha, pero le puede dar a los enlaces para que le abra el calendario y lo guarde. Esto como está hoy, a lo mejor me dice, no, eso no se puede hacer. But I did it yesterday. ¿Lo ves? ¿Ve eso? So you can do this, you're going to look more professional when you send the links. You can have all the dates, the ones that the customers need to act on, and put them into put them into an email. Yo quiero ver algo aquí. No. I thought that we did this. No. Okay. Yesterday I did this, and it gave it to me in little boxes. There was a lot more attractive. Okay. Pues está, aquí está. So then you can tell it to write an email. Give me an email or Gmail with the most important deadlines for my buyer. So tú puedes hacer esto así, después decirle que te escriba un email y puedes compartirlo. It's giving me everything. Well, not really everything. Mira, no puso los links. Include links. Y entonces ahora vamos para el próximo. Ve, ahora lo incluyó, ¿lo ve? Okay, so we're going back to our blog posts. Up here we have HOA condo document red flag reviewer. Now I'm hitting copy post and I'm going to go to Claude and hit new chat. Y voy a poner esto. So you have a deal and there's an association, a condo building over 4 stories, and you have to get all of the important studies. Vendieron un condo que es más de 4 pisos, tienes que buscar todos los estudios, todos los budgets, todas esas cosas. Yo, como lo hago ahora, this again, I use AI a lot. Yo ahora lo que hago, lo que hago es que yo subo lo que tengo y le pido que me dé un summary y que use las leyes del condado, las leyes del estado y las leyes federal no, porque eso ya es más el estado. Y le digo, dame un summary del budget, de todo lo que está incluido. So I put everything up and then tell it to give me a summary using state law, county rules, and so on. I ask it to give me the budget and look at the laws about regarding the reserves and the deadlines that have changed. And it gives me the summary. La forma en que esto está escrito, cuando tú le das, the way this one's written, when you hit send, it's going to ask you to upload the documents. You see, it says send whatever you have. Once you send that, right? And I think Ernesto said on Monday that it's 15% minimum that the reserves have to be in for the properties. Yeah, he said it was 0 across Florida. So this is going to look at the budget. Esto va a mirar el budget. Va a mirar la condición del edificio. So to give you an example of why this is important, I was looking at qualifying the value of a property in Century Village in the part that's called Idaho. I think it's Idaho. And the building has 1 elevator and it's 4 stories. Eso, si tú estás retirado y tienes 90 años, you don't want to be on the 4th floor, right? Pasó comenzando el cuarto en enero. Tiene que tener el 15%. So, en ese edificio de Idaho, el elevador necesitaba estar reemplazado. Y eran, creo, no sé si era un arreglo, pero, y no quiero dar el precio. Yo sé que había como $800,000 o algo así. It was like $800,000 to replace it. And I'm not sure on that number, you could always check. But the thing is that whoever bought, el que iba a comprar ahí, si no mira el estudio, if they don't look at the study, they don't look at the budget, they don't look at all these things, you're selling a property to your customer and they are going to get caught up in a special assessment that they might not be able to afford because they're on fixed income. Okay? Espero que me escucharon todo, right? So if you're selling a property and you don't do this kind of examination, you're setting up your customer for failure. There was a place in Century Village, I think it was Idaho, and I don't remember what building it was. But the elevator is going to be replaced in the next 2 years. In the next 2 years, the elevator needs to be replaced. that is going to be a special assessment because the reserves were not there for the replacement of the elevator. In all the years that I've been doing this, I've only been in one building. Solamente una vez en mi carrera, yo entré en un edificio and I found the lady that's in charge of the HOA in the office on the first floor. How do they usually deal with us? Send me an email, no me hables, right? This lady got up off her desk, said hello, and said, let me give you a tour. She must have been proud. She went to the seawall. There was a seawall, una pared donde está el canal de que va para agua salada. And she said, we're replacing all of this next year. It's already paid for. The roof, oh no, there were two elevators. One had been replaced. The other one was being replaced. It's already paid for. The sewer pump has damage, blah, blah, blah. It's already paid for. Everything was paid for. So, if you want to know what building that was, write me a note. So if you see, it's going to ask you for all the documents. Ahí ahora tú subes todos los documentos y te va a dar un reporte, un summary. Y ese summary se lo puedes compartir a tu cliente, ¿no? Be smart. If you're going on a listing appointment, you should do this too. Let's go back. AI prompts. The FERPTA one I'm not going to get into. That's how to explain FERPTA to a customer. So si no sabes explicar FERPTA, eso te va a ayudar. Porque nos está acabando el tiempo aquí. DSR Investor Loan Explainer. Closing timeline we just did. Déjame ver qué más. Short form. Esto es para los prompts. Para tú generar un guión, un script para tu contenido. The next one that I'm going to bring here, el próximo post que voy a traer aquí es un content calendar. Que tú puedes entrar y te va a decir el lunes por la mañana pon esto, el lunes por la tarde pon. ¿Ya está ahí? Oh, ¿verdad? Que está ahí como una página.
Sí, que dice tal.
Thank you. Oh, look, we have somebody that went to Canvas Playbook. Sí, no, yo sé, tú me habías dicho. Pero pensé que lo iba a poner porque no lo veo en los blogs.
Hasta dice por la mañana, por la tarde puedes hacer esto.
Correcto.
Dice que te lo va guiando a uno y está en español y en inglés que puedes hacer todos los días.
Sí. Y los fines de semana que el tráfico muere. Y esto no es opinión mía. Esto es de estudios. So, pero thank you for reminding me que estaba en los pages. So, aquí, déjame, vamos a hablar de Canvas Playbook ahora, ya que estamos al final. All right. So, para ustedes que viven abajo una piedra, no, porque hay personas que todavía no sabían que esto estaba andando. And I don't blame them because the chats are crazy. Canvasplaybook.com.
You gotta make sure to say that it's free because a lot of people think they have to pay for it.
Canvas Playbook is free. It's free. Está incluido en estar aquí en Canvas. Yo creo que nadie tiene esto en ninguna otra oficina. This doesn't exist anywhere else. Compass recently came out and said that they had a new AI assistant for their people, and all it does is track your phone calls. That's not to assist them, that's to spy on them. Uno de los cambios que se hizo aquí, porque yo sé que todo el mundo le da miedo, originalmente yo había hecho esto, que si tú estabas escribiendo algo, if you were writing about a problem in a contract, the system would send a flag to the office saying, let's say Marlo's writing an addendum that's very high risk, and then somebody could call you and ask you if you needed help. That is not there anymore. Se quitó. It was cumbersome for the system. Era demasiado complicaciones. And on top of that, I think some people don't want us to see what they're writing. So, este sistema funciona con la memoria de tu equipo. This works with the memory of your computer or your cell phone. So if you go on your cell phone and write questions, it'll be on your cell phone, not in our system. And so if you're on your cell phone and then you go to your computer, it's not going to be there. It's going to be on your cell phone. Pero tú puedes empezar de nuevo. You could start again. Okay? So let's start with this. When you get to this page, if you look here, again, you can change it to Spanish. Y lo puedes poner en español. And you log in. ¿Con quién estoy compitiendo? Sorry. No, I hear somebody talking at the same time. So log in. Aquí ustedes, here, you guys are going to use the email that you use with Canvas. Y vas a darle lost password. He's going to send you an email so that you can log in. Vas a cambiar tu correo y entrar de nuevo.
So wait, password is supposed to be used.
You don't have a password. You've never been there. So your password is like 50 letters and numbers long. You're going to put your email there and you're going to hit lost password so that you can get a reset email.
Because this is
No escribas lost password. Can we all stop and listen to me and look up here? Look up here. You're going to put your email that you use for Canvas and you're going to click on lost your password. No lo haga ahora. You don't need to do it right now. This is the explanation because now you'll start looking for the password and all that, and I'm going to keep moving forward. Once you do that, if it says that your email, si dice que el correo que tú estás usando no existe, mándame a mí un WhatsApp diciendo, ayúdame a entrar al sistema. Y dame el email que tú quieres usar. A lot of you, when you signed up for Canvas, used an email and then changed to another email later. So if you try to sign in and it says that it doesn't recognize that email, write me a WhatsApp directly and tell me I'm having trouble getting in. Please use and give me your email that you want to use. Entonces, si el correo era diferente, yo lo voy a cambiar. Okay? That's why I left this for last, because now people are doing this instead of talking to me. All right, once you sign in, this is where you are. ¿Están mirando aquí o todavía mirando su password? Because if you're looking for your password, you're going to get your password, you're going to get in and not know what to do with yourself. Okay? No problem. Es que ustedes, I need to help sometimes. So, if you have a question, si tienen pregunta, you can, and you know it's about policy or good investor, sales strategy, transaction desk. If you click it, it writes it here. That helps the question go through the system faster. Si lo dejas en blanco, if you leave it alone, you can ask any question, it'll figure it out. Okay? From here, and by the way, again, I said English or Spanish. From here, this is the playbook page, which is where you are. This is the contract trainer. If you go to the contract trainer, if you've never written a contract, si tú nunca has escrito un contrato, puedes venir aquí, set it to español, and write your first contract. You hit start at line 1, and it tells you, see, seller name. And then you can ask a question like, what if there are, wait a minute, what happened here? Was I hitting enter? Vite, what if there's multiple sellers? It didn't answer me. Ve, por eso I need you guys to use this. This was working perfectly the other day, so something might have changed. ¿Viste lo que pasa? But let's say that you don't have a question. You can just hit next and go to the next line. Oh no, it did answer. If there are multiple sellers, you would list all their names in this line. It's important to include every seller because each one is responsible. Blah, blah, blah. Viste, contestó y no le hice caso. It did answer. I wasn't paying attention. So buyer's name is the second one, and you can keep going. You just keep heading next and fill out one by one. If you are a veteran and you know that you only have one question, you don't have to go through everything. You can say something like go to line 27. So the lines, yo no sé si ustedes saben, so, oh no, it went to, see, there is no 27, it went to 28. I don't know if you guys have noticed, no sé si se han fijado, el contrato donde van cosas que tú llenas, the lines where you fill in, have an asterisk by the number. Hay muchas veces que ustedes vienen a que alguien les registre un contrato, you guys ask us to check a contract, and we're like going through it, and you guys are freaking out because we're not like reading it. We only go to the asterisk, read, go to the next asterisk and read, and so on. That's what this is doing. This is pretty much skipping to the lines where you need to fill it out. Pero si tienes una pregunta, puedes escribirlo. So if you hit next, si le das a next, va para la próxima línea. Pero si le escribes una pregunta aquí y le dice Ask Trainer, te contesta la pregunta antes de seguir. ¿Ok? Sí. If you hit next, it goes to the next line. But if you write a question and hit Ask Trainer, it answers your question and then you hit next. I'm going to start adding more forms. También, right now, I also don't know, it might, but I don't know if it's going to tell you to use additional forms. So if you ask where in the contract, and this I haven't done yet, estoy pensando, ¿no? Si tú le preguntas dónde está la sección de FHA, te dice tienes que utilizar tal form y añadirlo. I'm going to make sure that that's working. Unfortunately, ustedes saben, you guys know que learning this business is when you bump into it. You can't learn everything. So preparing this is the same way. Hasta que alguien no tropiece, no puedo hacer algo más. So at the bottom of every page, you see it says report a problem? That gets ignored. No, I'm kidding. That one goes to my backup number. El segundo teléfono que yo tengo. So if you find a problem, you can write there and I'll check on it. That phone I don't check all the time. Esto no va a ser, and when I say a problem, I mean that the program is having a problem. Si tú tienes un problema con un contrato, you should write into the chat. You have a lot of people answering you there. ¿Entendieron? Okay, so let's go back. Contract trainer. How many of you want to do commercial real estate? Everybody. Somos todos oportunistas, ¿verdad? We're all opportunists. So if you're here, and again, you can put it in Spanish, okay? Esto te explica, this is going to explain to you where you can find commercial properties. These are drop-down menus, right? From down here. And then you also have the menu up here. So if it's a page, right, then they're up here in this menu. But if it's a blog post, it's going to be in here. Porque algunas cosas son blog posts. All right. So the CRE trainer, to go back to it, al final, if you get to the very bottom, okay, and this explains the different types, retail, industrial, look at all this information just for you. And should you wait until you have a commercial customer? No. Start reading this stuff now. Commercial lease. What's a gross lease? What's a modified gross? Single net, double net, triple net. Percentage lease. Types of commercial financing, discovery. These are the questions that you need to ask your customer. Las preguntas que tienes que hacerle al cliente. What type of client is this? Business questions. What type of business do you operate? How long have you been operating? Space questions. How far is the moon? No, I'm kidding. How many square feet do you need? Do you need offices, showrooms? Did anybody get that joke about space questions? No? Nobody? Wasn't funny? Location questions, parking, logistics, money and timing, decision questions. Estas son las preguntas que debes hacer. Common mistakes agents make when entering commercial, treating it like residential. The MLS has nothing in it for you. Not driving the market, not understanding the lease, and weak discovery, not asking the right questions. A customer who does commercial, alguien que está haciendo comercial, sabe cuando te habla enseguida si tú has hecho esto antes. They understand right away if you've done this before. And by the way, I know a lot of you have not seen this. The NAR, el NAR, hizo un estudio de 2 años. They studied 2 years. And they were going to pass a rule, iban a pasar una ley, no una ley, pero tú sabes como ellos nos ponen regulaciones. If you have not done something before, you have to tell your customer. So, si tú tenías un cliente y te decía, quiero a comprar una nave o un retail store, tú tenías que decirle que tú nunca habías hecho eso antes. And they said, no, we're not going to do that right now. But they're going to do something. Va a haber algo que viene después. Y ahora, si tú eres nuevo, if you're new, you haven't done anything. So are you supposed to go around telling everybody, hey, I haven't done anything, but I'd love to help you buy a house? You know? And if you buy a house, you have to tell them that you've never sold a condo. If you sold a condo, do you have to tell them you never sold a house? So, ellos lo mataron por ahora. They killed it for now. But it might come back later. Okay. Después de todo esto, how to find properties, you have how to write a letter of intent. And again, español o inglés, how to use this page. This is what a letter of intent has. And then one by one, the explanation of what goes in each one. Y además de eso, it also says how high risk it is. Estas son cosas comunes, obvio, pero use clause, very important. You need protection, rent price, and terms. And I'll give you an example for use clause. Usted, yo le he hecho cuento esto. If you guys have sat around, yo te pregunto ahora. If you've been in my classes, you've heard this story before. Pero Pinecrest Bakery opened their first place in Pinecrest ever. And when I went in there, I was so excited because there was no Cuban coffee anywhere in Pinecrest. I said, let me have this and a cortadito. And they said, we don't sell coffee. And I said, what? So they rented the space, era el único espacio que podían encontrar. It's the only one they can get. And Starbucks was in the mall. So Starbucks, en su clause, era el único permitido a vender café, espresso drinks, en el shopping center. So Pinecrest lo supo y alquilaron de todas maneras. At least I think they do. Yo no sé si ellos alquilaron sin saber. A la mejor el agent no se lo dijo. But now all the Cubans were getting in there and asking for espresso and saying no because Starbucks won't let us. So they ended up doing a protest against Starbucks, like, look at you guys earning our little Cuban place over here. And Starbucks said, no problem, let them sell espresso. So, eso es lo que quiere decir de use clause. So you can, if you get a coffee, and I'll give you another example. I know a guy that had a French bakery next to a bagel shop, a Jewish bagel shop next to a French bakery. And the bagel shop started doing croissants. He did not have a clause that said he couldn't. So the croissant guy started making bagels. And the guy said, you can't make bagels because the lease says nobody else can make bagels. And he said, this is not a bagel, this is a biaggi or something like that. Que es un French bagel. No tiene el hueco, es sólido. Y el tipo le dijo, okay, yo no voy a hacer más croissants. Look at all that lesson you're getting here today. Okay, so, ¿cómo escribir un LOI? Aquí lo tienes. Mira un blank LOI. Need help structuring a deal? Message me on WhatsApp. Eso debo quitarlo. That's me directly. If you need help, obviously I can help, but you should ask in the office who you want to work with and all that stuff. No, esto es para que puedas imprimirlo.
Ok, pero no puedes crear tu LOI ahí. Solo puedes hacer preguntas.
Yo creo, yo lo he hecho, esto es nuevo para todos nosotros, ¿no? Yo no he empujado hasta los límites.
Pero está muy bueno.
Okay. Pero tú puedes ir la primera parte y decirle, escríbeme un LOI con estos detalles. It might do it for you. Or, haces ese down, you can download that, I think. If not, I'll do it. Ve, esos son los cambios que puedo hacer. So I can put a little button here that says download PDF. Puedes sacarlo, subirlo a ChatGPT o cualquier AI y darle los detalles. But transaction desk también. Okay. Let's go back. Let's go back to the console. CRE, role play. Este es el más. Entonces, announcement va a ser blog post y una página de welcome si quieren más instrucción. But this is my favorite. Role play. Vamos a hacer un reset aquí. ¿Y cómo está de tiempo? Oh, we got 15 minutes left. ¿Cuántos de ustedes tienen un negocio? How many of you have a type of business that you want to do that you've never done before? Has everybody here been on a listing presentation?
Yeah.
¿Sí? O tú, más que yo. Si tú no has estado en un listing presentation, practica aquí. If you haven't done a listing presentation, practice here. If you have a buyer, how many of you have done an open house? Probably everybody, right? Si tú crees, if you think you know how to talk to a customer at an open house, you're not going to do this. But I dare you to come in and choose an open house customer. Es mejor practicar con este sistema, y te lo voy a enseñar ahora que estoy hablando mucho sin decirte lo que es. This is a role play. So in role play if you come in, you can do it in Spanish or English, right? Aquí tiene Spanish. Puedes poner voz masculina o si lo deja apagado es una mujer. Puedes quitar el puntaje si no quieres ofenderte tú mismo. Si quieres, I'm telling you, somebody told me the other day he couldn't get more than a 3. Más de 3 puntos.
¿Cómo así?
¿Hasta cuánto llegaste?
Sí, lo que pasa es que yo estaba muy estricto las cosas. O sea, una cosa que te quiero decir.
No, pero ¿hasta qué número llegaste o qué no quieres compartir?
3 o 4, o sea.
¿Sí?
Sí.
Ok.
Hasta yo no tengo, ¿eso no queda grabado?
No.
Ah, ok. ¿Cuánto es lo máximo?
10.
No, yo me tranquilo.
Pero
Sí, una
te
cosa
voy a decir que el otro día le dije, está demasiado, porque yo ponía, yo me hacía grosero, I would do things stupid, and it would give me a 6, which is bad. I tested this once, so déjame decírtelo cómo se hizo esto, right? Ustedes han oído de Jeffrey Shore's 4-2 ratio, un libro. That's a good book. Read it. Si ese libro tienen el chance, léelo. The 4-2 ratio, Jeffrey Shore. 4-2. Él dice que tú debes escuchar el doble de lo que hablas. Obvio. Y te dicen, tienes 2 oídos y una boca para escuchar doble más. Pero él dice también que busque 4 puntos de dolor para el cliente, ¿sí? Y tenga soluciones para 2. Y eso es como tú vas a cerrar el cliente. So, yo usé, basado en ese libro, cómo esto iba a responder. So I chose that book to be the backbone to this. Si tiene, hay veces que te dice, tú le preguntas, vamos a decir, el down payment, a lo mejor te dice, me estoy mudando porque tengo un problema. Y tú le dices, bueno, ¿qué es el problema? It says, I'm moving because I have a problem. What's the problem? I'd rather not say. Te va a decir, yo no quiero hablar de eso ahora. Si tú sigues con empatía, te va a decir después. ¿Ok? So, I made 2 changes. Yo hice 2 cambios. Uno, cuando vas a empezar, wait a minute, maybe it wasn't here. Okay, tú ves aquí arriba, let me make it bigger. Tú ves aquí, meta de la sesión, agree to stay with the agent and confirm a specific revised marketing. Ya tú sabes que te va a ser fuerte. Tú viste lo que es, ¿verdad? No sé por qué no lo puso en español.
Joaquín, ¿cierto que hay diferentes niveles?
No.
Es un solo nivel.
Esto es random,
Random.
completely random. Tú estás contestando, y eso es una cosa que yo no había explicado. Tú estás contestando el teléfono, right? So, what happens in real life is that we go, hello, right? Yo trato de decir, hi, it's Joaquin. Yo no digo Canvas porque puede ser Jgrass, right? Yo digo, it's Joaquin. Or, hello, this is Joaquin. Pero, if you're answering the phone here, hazte la idea que estás trabajando en la oficina, right? Pretend you're at the office. You should say, hello, this is Joaquin with Canvas Real Estate here in Weston, serving the Weston area. Are you looking to buy, sell, or rent today? ¿Tú vas a hacer eso? No, but that is the right way of answering the phone. Okay? So, esto, when you answer the phone, will tell you. Like the other day, ustedes no ven nada de lo que yo posté. But as a joke, and I didn't do it as a joke, it was 10 o'clock at night, and I did one. And I put, hi, te habla Joaquín, era en español. Te habla Joaquín, da, 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 da. Y cuando terminé me dice, hola Joaquín, te estoy llamando porque estoy preocupado y quiero cancelar el contrato que tengo contigo. Esa fue la respuesta. It said, I want to cancel the contract with you. And I was recording myself for them to watch. And I put, no, a esta hora yo no recibo esta llamada y colgué y apagué el recording. This is random. This is how you get prepared without real customers. Si tú no tienes los clientes, practica aquí. If you're going on a listing appointment, go in here and write, I'm going on a listing appointment. The house is 500,000. They're interviewing other agents. I need you to role play with me.
O sea, y ahí yo lo que hice ensayando fue escribiendo. También se puede uno hablar o porque él le contesta, a mí me contesta.
Si estás en tu celular o tu computer, tú le puedes dar el micrófono para que te grabe lo que dices. Pero tener una conversación back and forth, no.
Oh, okay. Porque yo escribí,
Y eso pesa.
pues, estoy enamorado escribiendo, respondiendo.
Yeah.
Me parece que sería chévere no fuera.
Sí, pero piensa esto. Si, this is practice, right? Imagínate si tú te puedes, si un cliente te hace una pregunta y tú tienes 5 o 10 minutos para contestarte. Right? So, but, a mí me han puesto como una chancleta 2 veces. I've had 2 situations that I wrote in there, and at one point the coach was saying, "You're defending yourself. You're not making the situation better." And I was like, "Holy cow!" Pero
Sí, Joaquín, eso es lo que yo vi, que él te dice esta cosa, pero ¿Hay alguna posibilidad que él después te diga, mira, la respuesta correcta era esta?
Sí, te lo dice abajo.
Pero, si lo que pasa es que él me decía, tú no estás llegando al dolor, por ejemplo,
Correcto.
pero no me explicaba cómo llegar al dolor. O sea, que es que
No, porque te está dando el empujoncito para que tú lo pienses, right?
ya, porque me gustaría que también me dijera, mira, la respuesta correcta sería esta para yo saber, porque, o sea, no sabía
Pero
cómo,
no, para cada cliente no va a haber una respuesta idéntica.
pero en este momento que
So, el ejemplo que da Jeffrey Shores en el libro de él está en un open house, right? He's at an open house. This is how he says he discovered paper. Customer walks in. Ah, no, I'm not really looking. I just want to see the house, right? Okay, no, look around. What do you like about this house? This house has 3 bathrooms. Oh, really? And yours, how many? 2. But I have my wife and 3 daughters. So his pain is in the morning when everybody has to get ready for school and work. 4 mujeres, 2 baños. So that's an example. Pero tú pregunta y pregunta. Yo, en mi clase, yo creo que tú has estado, cuando yo te digo la entrevista of discovery, when you're talking to a buyer, and this is how you get good at this, you ask them, instead of asking them, how many bedrooms do you want? How many bathrooms do you want? Do you want a garage? Do you want a pool? Do you want a big yard? Do you want to park a boat on the side? Do you want to be close to the school? Do you want to be close to the supermarket? Do you want to smell the dump in the mornings? Right? That's Florida City. So you don't do that, right? Tú le dices, mira, yo no conozco tu family life, right? Te voy a usar como un ejemplo. ¿Quién va a vivir en la casa contigo si te puedo preguntar?
Mi esposo y 3 hijos.
3 hijos. ¿Y qué edad tienen los hijos?
Uno tiene 15, otro 20 y el más chiquito tiene 12.
Ok. So, entonces ahí yo puedo decir, puedo ir en varias direcciones. Tú tienes que quedarte en la zona para que los niños vayan a la misma escuela.
Sí, solamente el pequeño.
Ok. So, entonces, ¿qué escuela es esa?
El que yo quiero que vaya.
Puedes inventar si quieres.
Sí.
No, ¿dónde está ahora? Si tú dijiste para quedarte en la escuela.
Estoy inventando lo que te digo.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. I love you. So, entonces, en Vega, Manatee Bay in
Yeah.
elementary, right? So he needs to say Manatee. When you say Manatee Bay, I might say, oh, my nephews go there and he's 12. I wonder if they know each other. So you puedes hacer conexiones también, right? So, entonces, la otra pregunta que te voy a hacer, no digo que eres realtor, ¿en qué trabajas?
Trabajo en cuatro.
Ok. Yo ahí puedo calcular más o menos lo que ganas, en vez de preguntarte cuánto ganas. ¿Y tu esposo? Es un promedio. Dime promedio. Dime promedio.
Dealer. ¿Qué persona dealer?
A dealer
Dealer.
de drogas.
el dealer card, por dealer.
Dime promedio. Vamos a ir con un promedio.
Sí, él es promedio.
Él es promedio. Entonces él tiene vehículos de negocio
Sí, claro.
con herramientas y eso. Y él también tiene otro carro aparte o es solo él maneja ese y ustedes comparten uno.
Sí, él tiene su carro de
Y además tiene negocio. Son 3.
No, solamente tenemos el carro mío y el carro de mi
Ok, entonces tu hijo me dijiste 18, ¿no?
Hay uno de 20, uno de...
El de 20 tiene carro, ¿no?
Él sí tiene carro.
So, entonces estoy mirando porque son 3 carros y un camión. 2 carros y un camión. El camión no se puede parquear a no ser que esté dentro de un garage en un lugar de association. So, association para ti no.
Sí, ese es el problema que tengo.
Okay, ¿ves? So that's how you do it. The kids, entonces, también las personas dicen, mi mamá vive con nosotros o la suegra vive con nosotros. Así, eso cambia, ¿no? Entonces tú le preguntas, ¿tu suegra maneja?
No, ella no maneja.
Ok. Y ella puede tener un cuarto en un segundo piso, tiene que estar en el primer piso.
En el primero. Ella pues ya le duele la espalda, le duele todo.
A nosotros todos nos duele todo, ¿no? Yo he tenido clientes que yo les digo, ellos me dicen, no, I can do a second floor. Y yo les digo, you have to be very careful, ¿no? 5 years from now, do you want to go upstairs to bed? They said, no, I don't want to do that now. We go, let's look for something else. Pero así es como tú haces el descubrimiento. You don't do a list of features.
Sí.
Eso lo hacen 100 personas. Pregúntale las otras cosas. And that way you bond with them, you know, you conectas con ellos y eso. Y el plomero gana mucha plata también.
Sí, tiene un amigo que es plomero y bueno, pues está.
Yeah.
súper.
Si dice que es un artist, si dice que es un artist o un músico, ya sabe que he's broke.
Sí. O depende. Si trabaja con una banda
Yeah.
de prestigio.
Sí. Ok. Volvemos a esto y ya.
It's a good client.
What's that?
Plumbing is a good client.
Yes. Well, especially
Spin.
if they report their income, but that doesn't happen. Ellos tienen la foto del colchón con la plata abajo.
Sí.
Yeah, they pre-qualify with the money under their bed. Okay, so now you know you can put calling a seller who wants to cancel, right? Wow, that was one that I did. That's the one where it crushed me. Pero I'm going to start referring to myself as Uncle Joaquin. So Uncle Joaquin thought about this, and down here you have conversion en casa abierta, una conversión, right? So this is a customer that you met at an open house, right? If you click, it fills it in here. So now you're talking to him as if it was. So I'm going to say, welcome to my open house. Did I write? Oh, yeah.
Gracias por la bienvenida. Estoy explorando opciones, pero me preocupa que no se haya cumplido con lo que esperaba en la venta de mi propiedad. ¿Qué medidas están tomando para mejorar la situación?
Did you understand? Random. Está en tu open house y está diciendo que no puede vender su casa. Have you ever had that happen? Esto es, y esto es lo lindo de random. I didn't expect that. Yo pensé que iba a decir, yeah, I was in the area and I thought I lived next door or whatever. Y aquí viene tu contesta. So, si ahora yo mira mi descubrimiento, un 1, empatía 2, claridad 3, control 2. Tu saludo fue genérico. Your hello was generic. Y no abordó ninguna preocupación, whatever. Right. So I need to do better than that. Yo, la primera vez que hice esto, the first time I did this, just for, I keep wanting to say the wrong thing, but I'm not going to. Grins and, you know what I'm saying. I said, would you like some coffee? ¿Quieres café? And it said, no, thank you. Quiero saber de esta casa. Da, da, da. Y yo le dije, ¿seguro que no quieres café? And it said, no, no quiero café, quiero saber de esto. La tercera vez me dijo, yo creo que tú estás jugando conmigo, tú no estás serio, yo no quiero trabajar contigo. So, no, espera, eso fue un cliente de verdad. No, I'm kidding. I actually closed the deal with Café. Yo tuve un cliente, D.R. Horton, ready to sign. Me dijo, no, let me think about it. I said, no te preocupes, yo tengo 3 casas. I have 3 or more homes like that. You could sign tomorrow, Tuesday, whenever, doesn't matter. ¿Quiere café? Sí. I went, I started making espresso, I started talking about something else. Anyway, firma. Yo firmando. Fue la espumadita, creo. We're done. Si tienen, yo quiero que ustedes usen esto. Yo estaba al punto, I was thinking about it. Maybe we can ask Ernesto. Whoever gets the first 10 gets some kind of prize. Maybe lunch with Anita or something like that. I want you guys to do, if you can get him to sit that long, and I want you guys to get better at what you don't think. Yo creo que all of us, estoy hablando de en general todos nosotros, le tenemos miedo a descubrir lo mal preparados que estamos para algunas situaciones. We would rather not know, por la misma razón que no vamos médicos. Right? Me duele el codo, pero yo no quiero descubrir que se me va a caer el brazo. You don't go to the doctor for that reason. And I think people don't do this because they don't want to see how badly prepared they are. But we all have something we're not ready for. All of us.
But nobody's gonna know what happened.
Nobody.
And
None.
or her.
So that you guys know the original Canvas playbook, it was even going to be able to go into transaction desk and look at your contract and check it for you. All of it is good. This is all to avoid, but it was so much that I killed it and started over again. So, esto ni tú, si tú no guardas, if you do this on your phone and you go to your computer, it's not going to be there. It's on the memory of your device.
Ay,
Sí, porque así hay dos cosas. Uno, no usa la memoria del sistema, que para nosotros lo hace más rápido. Y yo he hecho tantos arreglos. Esto viene desde noviembre. I'm going to end the meeting here. This will be available on video later. Please use all these tools. They're made to make you better. Okay? And nobody else has them. See después.
Thank you so much for the presentation.
Thank you. Use it. Use the tools.